Hi, my name is Shiloh Chambers, and I'm in 8th grade. I'm an 8th grade student at Amani Public Charter School. Today, I'm gonna be super excited to be talking with a member of the New York State Board of Regents, Frances Wills. The regent helps make big decisions about what students all across New York learn in school, and even helps set rules for things like graduation, testing, and more. Tennille has a few questions so we can learn more about what the regents do and how it affects students like me. Let's get started.
So good morning, Regent Wills.
Good morning.
Thank you for visiting Amani Public Charter School and being our guest in the Digital Credit Lab. I have a few questions I would like to talk to you about. My first question is, what made you want to join the Board of Regents, and why do the regents matter?
That's a wonderful question to ask as a starter, because I have been in education for over 50 years, and I started as a teacher. Actually, I started in education with my sister. We used to play school. I don't know if kids do that anymore, but we used to play school. And I was the teacher, she was the student. That's the way it was. I was the older sister. And I always knew that I'd be a teacher. And I did start in my 20s, and then from teaching after 9 years, at the high school and middle school level, then I became a guidance counselor, because I said teaching is not just subject matter. It's about relationships with students and helping students build their relationships in a positive way. Yes. And then I became a principal, because I said, well, I'm a guidance counselor, but I would like to see how I could influence the culture of a whole school and ensure that that's a place for students to succeed. And then I became a superintendent of schools for the same reason. How do you build a whole community of a culture where students can see all of their goals met, have all kinds of opportunities for success, and to help the teachers to do that, to support the teachers and have a positive influence across the community with parents. And after 50 years in that role of being an educator, I was asked if I would apply to be a New York State Regent. I never thought I would be a New York State Regent. We had a wonderful regent for this area when I was a superintendent. Her name was Dr. Judith Johnson. Judith Johnson was a wonderful woman who actually served on President Clinton's cabinet. Wow. As an education, the member of the Department of Education. But I was asked by an assembly member, Sandy Galiff, if I would apply for the position of regent. And my heart beat very fast, because to me, that was a way that I could have a part to play in supporting students throughout the state of New York, and particularly the region that I represent, which is the Judicial District 9, the Hudson Valley, and Mount Vernon is here. And so it really gave me a great sense of possibility for my life. And that's really if you look at some of the things that I've written, the main goal I have, the main sort of the epigram from a poem by Emily Dickinson, is dwell in possibility. That's where I feel education must be. And that's where the Regents is. So being part of the Regents gives me an opportunity to support an incredible visionary commissioner, Rosa, a visionary chancellor, Lester Young, Dr. Young, and a wonderful group of Regents who have diverse experiences that they bring, so that we can create and apply our mission. Excellence, access, and opportunity for all students in New York State.
Wow, that's a nice answer. That's a very nice answer. My second question is, how do you and the board decide what kids should learn in school each year?
Well, we work very hard to build a consensus around the standards that have been developed by the New York State Board of Regents and the Department of Education. There are standards that all teachers, including yours, look at and see what goals we should have in each subject area. And not just the subject area, but for the social and emotional lives of our students. So, for example, this last year, we had a blue ribbon commission appointed to study the secondary education, high school. And as what should our high school education be? So many people think the high school education is about taking the regents. When people meet me, they say, oh, you're the one in charge of the regents, the board, the tests. That's just a very small part of what we do. The tests were developed 100 years ago as part of, you know who the first regent was?
No.
Alexander Hamilton.
Wow.
You know, maybe you've seen the show, Hamilton. It's an incredible show, and it shows what the beginnings of our nation were. And so it makes me feel very good to be part of that. And yet the regents themselves are just a small part of what we do, but they have become so important to students and to the communities that we started to look at that and say, should that be the only way that we assess whether a student is ready to go on and become the future? I loved your principal's talk today. She talked about the way we should think about our students, that every student has the potential to be the world leader, to be great in their field, to have a purpose and to have meaning and to contribute to the life of the nation and their families and their communities. We're sitting together, Camille, and I know that you're part of something right now, because this way of thinking about communication is one that values personal views. It values humanity. And that's what really the Board of Regents is about. Our portrait of a graduate, which we developed from this Blue Ribbon Commission, shows the various ways that we can assess whether a student is ready to go on, whether they're ready for civic engagement, to get involved in the communities they live in, and to make sure their schools are excellent, to make sure we have great leaders there. It has to do with being able to have some ability to speak different languages, some ability to understand, of course, the basics of financial literacy and math and English and reading, but also the larger picture. What does it mean to be a global citizen? Because we all are global citizens. All over the world, people look to us. And we know that we have in our country citizens who come from every walk of life, every country in the world, speaking multiple languages. That is the greatest resource, I believe, that we have in our country. They bring science, they bring math, they bring their views of the world, their religions, their ideas, and with that, we have been able to shape this great country. And when I'm sitting with you, I see a future influencer in this world, and hopefully with those ideas that you can bring forth.
Thank you. My third question is, what do you think the biggest challenge for students in America right now? I mean, in New York right now?
The biggest challenge?
Yes.
Access. To me, the biggest challenge is that we have the resources and we have a way of thinking about children that ensure that they have access to every possible opportunity available to them for their future, so they can be those world leaders, so they can communicate and be important in their community and lead others, so they can bring goodness and kindness and a sense of humanity, an understanding of humanity to the world that they live in and to their communities. You know, this is what I feel is one of the greatest. I think we're missing some things. We're not seeing enough kindness in the world. We're not seeing enough understanding that all children should be given the tools to learn. And that requires resources and how we allocate those resources. It shouldn't matter where you go to school. Everyone should have the opportunity to get ahead and to learn. I know that for my own grandchildren. I see them going in all different directions. They've had opportunities. Yes. And they are now making the choices that will shape their lives. And there are so many. There's a lot of suffering in the world.
There is.
And we have to find ways to alleviate that. That's probably our greatest goal for all of us, that we figure it out. We have to figure out peace. And that is difficult. I love the last song that the chorus sang.
Yes.
And it was about that. And we need to the storm has to pass over. That storm has to pass over so that we can find peace.
Wow. My fourth question is, do students ever get a say in decisions you make? How can our voices be heard?
Well, it's interesting. When we had the Blue Ribbon Commission meetings, we had opportunities for students. I was on some video calls with a number of students from across the state who talked about how they would like to see their high school experience. Some students really like the Regents. They like taking multiple choice tests. Not all students do. And they talked about that, about different ways that we could have projects, and students could actually talk about what they've learned and build or design. Some students are great at design, and they have a vision, and we want to see those students have an opportunity to show what that vision is. And that would be a way to assess whether they're ready for the world, to be part of the world, to graduate from New York State schools.
Okay. My last question is, what's your biggest advice for a child who wants to help make their school a better place?
If you want to make the school a better place, you provide, first of all, there needs to be a place in the school for student voice. What I was talking about before, how students can provide their ideas. Your school, I can see just by being here, there's an opportunity for student voice, for students to talk to their teachers. There's a communication and a relationship. When you have that relationship with your teachers and with your administrators, then there's a place, usually student government or some kind of circle that you have, where you can start saying, these are some ways that I think I could make our school even better. It's a great school, but I think there's something we can do. You already have a wonderful arts program, which is usually something. I see you did Guys and Dolls as your show, which was just magical to me. I've had a lot of experience with that particular show. My son is in theater, so I'm very, I guess we would theater all our lives in our family. But I would say that you have to build a relationship. It's all about relationship. And you have to have other children join you, other students join you.
Yes.
You talk to your friends and you say, will you be an ally in this project? I'd like to do a project in our community. Can you help me? Can we do this together? It's all about doing it together. That's what I learned over the years that I've been in education. Nothing is done alone. We do it with other people. And that's how we also have wonderful lives, because we have relationships with others. That's what makes life beautiful.
Yes, it is.
So I wish you and your whole school the opportunity to find ways to build relationships, to build allies, and to seek your future with all of this possibility, dwelling in the possibility. Something may go wrong one day. We make mistakes.
Yes.
But those mistakes teach us something. Every time I have had a mistake, I have made a mistake, or I have had a failure with something, sometimes it felt like I couldn't go back. But then, tomorrow, from Annie, the song?
Yes.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm a great believer in that. The sun will come out. Believe it or not, with this weather we're having, the sun will come out one of these days soon.
Yes, it will.
And that's what I wish for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Regent Wills. And Shiloh, it's time to wrap this episode.
Okay. Thank you, Regent Wills, for spending a few minutes with us today, for visiting Amani Public Charter School, and for stopping by the Digital Creator Lab. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel, Amani Moments. We stream new content every week, and you'll be able to learn right along with us in this class. Bye, everyone.